Have you ever thought of buying a franchise or currently own one or many? If so, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Franchise Euphoria, the podcast created and hosted by franchise attorney Josh Brown for the sole purpose of helping people find success through franchising.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Franchise Euphoria, the podcast to help buyers, owners, and expansion-minded businesses find success through franchising. Josh Brown here for another tip of the day. And today we're going to really talk about what I believe is the number one thing that makes a great franchise owner. And I just recently realized this. I had the great fortune to interview one of my business heroes, Michael Gerber, for my franchise podcast. Gerber is a true legend of entrepreneurship. I mean, Inc. magazine has referred to him as quote, the world's #1 small business guru. Gerber and his companies have helped tens of thousands small business owners transform their businesses into world-class operations. He's the author of the mega bestseller, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, called The E-Myth Revisited, and 13 other business coaching books. And he is a huge proponent of franchising when done right. And it was interesting because during the course of our discussion, he mentioned something that really stuck with me and I hope will resonate with you. And that is, good franchise owners are not entrepreneurs. They are exceptional managers. And when I first heard him say that, I thought, well, sure, they're entrepreneurs. I mean, just with lower risk tolerance. But the more I thought about it, I think Gerber is exactly right. To be sure, anybody who risks capital on a business, franchise, or otherwise is somewhat of an entrepreneur. But I think his bigger point was that true entrepreneurs create things, not follow others' creations. In other words, the entrepreneur is the person who started and built the franchise that you are now considering buying. Regardless of your definition of the entrepreneurial makeup, the bottom line is that, by and large, excellent managers make excellent franchisees. Most buyers, though, don't pay attention to their own skills. Rather, they get caught up in the system they are going to buy as if it is going to run itself. In other words, most franchise buyers pay attention to the wrong things. They fall in love with the brand, but don't stop to think about themselves, their personalities, and what attributes they bring to the table. Before you ever buy a franchise, you must go through a thorough self-assessment. And I even recommend speaking to others who really know you and get their opinion on your skill set. It is important that you do this for a number of reasons, but most importantly, you want to make sure that you are a good candidate to be a franchise owner. I wish I could confidently say that most franchisors are good at knowing or caring to know ahead of time whether their prospective franchisees will be good operators, but I can't. Sadly, many franchisors see the dollars that will be generated through the franchise fee and royalties and pay little attention to the individual that will be operating the underlying franchise. Ironically, the same issues arise when franchisees only pay attention to the money they hope they can make through franchising, but don't take the time to determine if they are or can learn to become an exceptional manager. Exceptional managers bring many skills to the table. 4 of the most critical ones from my perspective are: first, empower. Exceptional managers empower the people around them so that they have better clarity on the tasks that they are responsible for and have the resources and tools to achieve the goals of the business. Number 2, engage. Exceptional managers engage with their staff on a regular basis and engage in the work as well. I mean, we no longer live in a top-down society. The new workforce prefers to work with their managers and possess more of a team strategy where everyone has clearly defined roles, including the manager and owner. Number 3, enthusiasm. Exceptional managers have energy and enthusiasm. They have a positive outlook and are solution providers. They solve problems and infect their teams with energy and a can-do attitude. And number 4, excellence. Exceptional managers are excellent in the following ways. They know their business. They know the customer. They live and breathe customer service. They know their people. They know how to lead their people. They understand technology, and they are open and transparent. So, how do you tell if you fit the mold? Empower, engage, enthusiasm, and excellence. It all sounds great, but how do you know if you meet these qualifications and others when you don't have a corporate background or business management experience? Well, the good news is you really don't need a corporate or small business background to be an exceptional manager. Now, don't get me wrong here. It certainly helps, but it is not a prerequisite. If you have a strong interpersonal skills, are an effective communicator, organized, and are a creative problem solver, you most likely are or could become an exceptional manager. If you don't know whether you possess these characteristics, then take the time to figure it out before you do anything else. Understanding these key personal characteristics will help you in all areas of your life. More than likely, the franchise you are interested in will be around after you first figure out if you're a good fit for franchising. What won't be around, however, is your franchise fee after you purchase and then realize you are not a good fit. Be smart, be proactive, and know with certainty whether you already are or can become an exceptional manager before you part ways with your money. Otherwise, you are just playing the lottery, and we all know those odds. Until the next time, happy franchising.
Thanks for being with us today on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go to iTunes and provide a review. Also, please remember that although Josh Brown is a licensed and practicing attorney, nothing contained in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, because it is not. The information contained in this podcast is general and educational in nature, and none of it should be relied upon as legal advice. That being said, if you have questions for Josh and would like to contact him, please email him at josh@franchiseeuphoria.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you tune in to our next weekly episode.